Let's get started with section 2.2, more functions in their graphs, rather. And again, I have the learning objectives there. There's 5 of them for this section that we'd like to get through, and we'll see how far we can get on this first session. First thing is the definition of something we call a difference quotient. It's something that you'll use if you go on to take calculus. Remember, this is a pre-calculus class, getting you ready for calculus. And we can perform this operation on any function. So given a function f of x, the difference quotient is given by this expression, which looks, well, it's kind of daunting at first, but it's not that difficult once we get into the practice of it. F of x plus h minus f of x over h, and h can't be 0. Can't have division by 0. There comes that restriction again. Plays an important role in understanding rates of change, and I think we'll investigate some rates of change later on. But here's our function. So you'll be given a specific function, in this case 2x squared minus x plus 3, and we want to find f of x plus h, then we want to find the difference quotient. So this first part will just get us some practice on how to handle f of x plus h. Remember how to work with function notation. Remember, this part in here is just your replacement for x. That means I'm going to go to the function f, which is right there, and everywhere I have an x, I'm going to replace it with an x plus h. So let's see what that's going to look like. F of x plus h is going to be 2 times what? Instead of x, it's going to be our replacement, x plus h. But the function says we need to square it. Minus, in the function it has an x, but the replacement is x plus h, and then plus a 3. So all we did was go to the original function, and everywhere we had an x, we replaced it with x plus h. Now we have to actually go through and simplify this. So I'm going to scoot over a little bit and work on squaring the x plus h, which is just our good old FOIL method. Distributing out the negative, which is a negative x, negative h, and just writing down the plus 3. So let's FOIL that out and multiply it by 2. 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x minus h plus 3. And finally, let's distribute the 2. 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h plus 3. That's a pretty long expression there, but that is the result of f of x plus h, which means go to f and replace every x with an x plus h. You've got to have some good algebra skills to get through this. So this part is done. Now let's go to the difference quotient, actually doing this part over here. Notice, to calculate a difference quotient, we need to use what we just calculated over here, the f of x plus h. So all we have to do is take our result that we obtained on this bottom end and put it right there in that position. So it's nice to kind of come on the side and make that calculation. So f of x plus h minus f of x will set up to look like this. I'll go ahead and put the f of x plus h result that we had over here, which is 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h plus 3. So I'll put that quantity in first. Then I'm going to subtract from it f of x. Well, what is f of x for this problem? Well, it is this guy right here. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let me go ahead and erase all that stuff and rope it off with this. We're going to put that part right here. So it means I'm just going to travel it right down here and just rewrite the function of 2x squared minus x plus 3, and it's that quantity all over h. And it's quite a large quantity to work with, but what you're going to notice is after you do some simplifying and working, a lot of stuff is going to cancel. Let's distribute this negative first. always put these parentheses in so you won't forget to distribute the negative. And when we do that, we'll end up with a negative 2x squared, positive x, and a minus 3. And all of our front stuff that's hanging around over here. So we'll just copy that down. Now here's the goal. What you're going to see is a lot of stuff is going to cancel in that numerator, like this 2x squared and that 2x squared. This positive x, that negative x. This positive 3, this negative 3. And excuse me while I turn my phone off. Okay. Anything else cancels? No, I think we've grabbed everything that canceled out. So now let's go ahead and grab everything that's left over. So what's left over is a 4xh plus a 2h squared minus an h. The rest of that blue stuff is gone, and this is all divided by h. These quantities will always reduce, and in this case we can factor out an h out of the numerator. When I factor that h out, I'm left with a 4x plus 2h minus 1. Just factoring the h from here, the h from here, the h from here. Well, that allows me to cancel both the h's on the top and the bottom. Has to be factored first before I can cancel it with the h in the denominator, leaving me the simplified version being what's left in the parentheses, and I'm running out of room, but it's 4x plus 2h minus 1. Obviously these are not easy, they're a little complicated. You've got to be very careful with writing down your work and with your distributing and your canceling. So you'll want to pay close attention to this lecture and pull it back up as you go through the exercises and the homework.